New setup, new me. Just roll the just roll the intro. Ladies and gentlemen, I saw a lot of movies in November. I mean, a lot. I think 43 to be exact. And today, I'm gonna speed run what I liked, what I didn't like, give y'all a list, give y'all my reviews of everything I saw in the month of November 2025. I'm first gonna run through every single movie I saw and give y'all a second or two to pause if you want to see my more in-depth thoughts on each movie, because I saw 43 this month. I can't exactly give my in-depth thoughts on every single movie that I saw, so after that full list of what I have seen in November, I will then share with you my 5 least favorites and my 5 favorites from the month of November. Grab a little snack because you look kind of hungry. Go ahead, sit down, and let's get straight into the list of what I saw this month. In the month of November 2025, I saw Tenet, Frankenstein, the 2025 version, Begonia, K-pop Demon Hunters, Game Night, The Founder, Predator Badlands, What Happened to Monday, 28 Years Later, Frankenstein, again, Dr. Sleep, The Bob's Burgers Movie, Turbo, The Woman in Cabin 10, Sarah's Oil, Parasite, The Maze Runner, The Running Man, Bird Box, Journey to the Center of the Earth, The Hangover, The Dark Tower, The Killer's Game, Joyride, The Way Back, Now You See Me, Now You Don't, The Dark Knight Rises, Fat Man, After the Hunt, F1, Following, Baby Driver, Zodiac, Daddy's Home, Eddington, Wonka, A Charlie Brown Thanksgiving, Zootopia 2, Bad Boys Ride or Die, Bottoms, Bones and All, Maze Runner, The Scorch Trials, and I wrapped up the month with Ballad of a Small Player. So we're first going to go over my least favorites from the month. Now, I am going to try and kind of speed run this because I don't really want to dwell on the negative of this past month so far. My honorable mention for this month was Maze Runner, The Scorch Trials. And I typically try and give my least enjoyed slots to movies that are new to me, movies that I haven't seen before. And that's why this isn't any higher. This honestly probably was one of the more disappointing films I did see this past month. I didn't remember how much of a nothing burger this movie is. It really is the filler episode between the two main movies, which is the first Maze Runner and then The Death Cure. I didn't care for this at all, and I especially didn't care. I'm usually not one to care about the fact that, oh, it went away from the books, but the second book was pretty good. Like, the second book was, in my opinion, better than the first book of the Maze Runner series, so it kinda aggravated me that the movie basically saw that, and I was like, alright, we're gonna disregard almost all of that. So number 5 on the list is Following, Christopher Nolan's first feature film. And never once did I think that a Christopher Nolan film would be in my 5 least favorite from the month. But here we are! I didn't like this. I didn't like this very much at all. It felt very, very slow. Granted, it's the 90s, okay? It's not going to be quite as fast-paced as 2025 movies. But The characters weren't compelling to me really at all. The story was a little compelling, but not that much. The ending brought it up a little. This probably would have been one of my 2 least favorite movies of this month, but I did kind of like the ending of the movie. I like how it wrapped things up, but I didn't love it. Number 4 on the list is Sarah's Oil, and I would like to clarify something. My mom wanted to go see this, and me, being the little theater goblin that I am, said, I'll go see it with you. And she was like, really? And I was like, I can't guarantee I'll like it, but I'll go and see it with you. And she was like, okay. And needless to say, I didn't really like it. It's a very fascinating story, the entire movie is, but it's told in such a bland way. There is just nothing that really compels me to feel locked in while watching this movie. It's just kind of telling you the events with very boring camera work, with very boring acting, with exception from the lead who plays Sarah. I forgot her name. I'll put it on the screen. I didn't care for this that much. Next up, number 3 on the list is The Dark Tower. And when I was a younger teen, I specifically remember really, really enjoying this. Man, am I glad that my tastes have changed, because this is pretty bad. There's next to no action. When there is action, it's mediocre. Once it's really good, but it's mostly mediocre. And it's way too short for books that are really, really long and span a large history. It kind of feels like baby's first apocalypse movie in a way, and that is not a compliment. That is a massive insult. It feels like The Maze Runner, but made a lot worse, if I'm being perfectly honest. That somehow 90 minutes felt like it drug while watching this. I didn't care for it. Number 2, The Woman in Cabin 10. I'm just gonna be perfectly honest. Keira Knightley is innocent from this movie, okay? I don't think she knew what she was signing on for when she signed to be in this movie, okay? This is very bad. It is very uninteresting dialogue. It's just, the whole way I can explain the movie is it's very uninteresting. Very, very little happens. And, like, yeah, there's some graphic gaslighting and whatnot, and that's, you know, that's interesting to see how the different characters interact with that, but it's bland. It's very bland to me. And then my least favorite movie from the month of November 2025 is What Happened to Monday. What Happened to Monday? The more and more I think about it, the more and more I go, man, what a missed opportunity. Really, because the world building of this movie was good for the first half and then basically completely thrown away for the second half. The character continuity was extremely hard to keep up with, because for those of you who don't know, it's 7 siblings, 7 twin sisters, all played by one actress, and they're dressed a little differently, and they have a little bit different personalities, but it's still very, very hard to tell who's who. And I think the worst thing about this is the title of the movie, What Happened to Monday? I still don't really know what happened to Monday. Some quick spoilers for this movie that you probably won't ever see. I think she dies at the end. I think. But I'm not gonna lie, I don't know which one is who. So I don't know if she's the one that died or the one that lived on and made a better life. I don't know. The story also doesn't help. Like, it gives you very, very little to actually root for these characters for, other than, like, oh, the government is hunting them and the government is trying to kill them. But we're not really given a ton of reason to empathize or care for the characters. I just didn't like it that much. Now let's get off of the negatives and let's go on to the positives. My favorite movies from this month. And I have 2 honorable mentions this month. The first is Parasite. And I'm not gonna lie, if we're going by straight up cinematic quality, this is top of the list. This is number 1. But again, I like to try my best to not put rewatches of movies high on the list or on the list at all. I try and include them in the honorable mentions just so that you know it would be on that list if it was a first viewing. The other honorable mention is the Bob's Burgers movie. Again, this got a lot better on a rewatch, but it is a rewatch. It would honestly probably be Parasite at 1, Bob's Burgers movie at 2, if I weren't trying to, you know, show new movies with my 5 favorites from the month. Number 5 on the list of most enjoyed from November is Luca Guadagnino's Bones and All. And no joke, I've been pretty consistently thinking about this movie every day since I saw it. And specifically, how this is probably one of, if not the most gory and grotesque movies I have seen this entire year. But at the same time, I would argue that it's somehow the most, like, sensitive and tender and loving movie that I've seen, which is so weird. It's such a weird pairing that works shockingly well together. Is my CPU about to blow up? The love and the care put into the movie just shines through so much that it makes it pretty easy to not see the elephant in the room. Cannibalism. I'm talking about cannibal. Number 4 was The Running Man, the 2025 Edgar Wright version. Was it perfect? No. Did I enjoy it? Quite a lot. Yes. Glenn Powell is great in this, and no, it's not perfect, but I had a really, really fun time with the movie, and I think that's what the movie was trying to achieve. I liked it a lot. Number 3 is Zodiac. And I don't know why I wrote this, because I wrote this script about a week ago. I wrote that this is the best boring movie I've ever seen. I wouldn't really call it boring. I would just call it more of a slow burn. Like, things do not immediately, and I know, you know, some people are going to call that boring. There's a difference between boring and slow burn, and it's very obvious. Watch Zodiac and you will see the difference. But I was so hooked that I didn't want to stop watching this movie. I did have to stop watching this movie about halfway through, but then I picked it up and in one sitting finished it the entire next day. So I really, really liked this movie. I thought it was really great. My number 2 on the list is, surprisingly, a sequel, and that is Zootopia 2. If you would have told me that this movie was going to break box office records for opening weekend, for 1, I wouldn't have believed you. For 2, if you would have told me that on a rewatch I would be considering the 5-star rating for this movie, I wouldn't believe you. This is just really good. It's really funny on a lot of levels. The references to The Silence of the Lambs and The Shining are hilarious and very well placed. I liked it a lot. And I don't know, man, it's just, I'm floored. I'm surprised, because this is genuinely the best Disney movie I've seen in a hot minute. That I can remember, at least, off of the top of my head, in theaters. Well, okay, Thunderbolts is technically a Disney property, but I mean like a Disney animated or live action sequel. I'm really, really pleased by this, and I'm not gonna lie. I would rather, if they can retain the level of quality as Zootopia and Zootopia 2, I would rather have 5 more Zootopia movies than 1 live action remake of anything. I don't know. I really liked it, if you can't tell. And finally, my number 1 favorite movie from the month of November 2025 was Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein. What a roller coaster of emotions, man. This movie, me and Brennan, we didn't actually drive to see this movie. We drove to Saw Begonia, and this was kind of like the secondary movie that we were going to see. But this was just amazing, man. I can honestly tell you it's probably the most locked in I've been watching a movie in theaters this entire year so far. Like, I loved this thing. I was nearly crying by the time that the credits rolled because of the last about 15 minutes of the movie, and then the quote at the end just hits particularly hard with me right now. And I'm like, man, I finished it, and we were in theaters, and we were just like speechless, which pretty much always me and Brennan have something to say to one another after a movie finishes, but we were just there kind of like, that was amazing. Literally a perfect ending. I would even go so far as to argue that it's probably the best thing Netflix has ever done. Granted, I have not seen every Netflix original. I have not seen every Netflix TV show, but that I have seen, I think it's the best thing Netflix has ever done. Anyways, thank you all so much for watching this video. I greatly appreciate it if you made it to this point. If you did make it to this point, comment the snake emoji. That way I know you watched all the way through, and I'll give you a funny reply. A funny little joke, dare I say. Be sure to subscribe if you're interested in next month's What I Watched, as well as this month. There are a lot of movies coming out, and I have slated to make a lot of reviews for a lot of movies, so please be sure to subscribe if you are looking forward to that. Untitled Movie Podcast is going to making a thundering and triumphant return, hopefully sometime mid-month this month, and I have a lot planned for this month. I'm also going to be seeing a lot of movies in theaters, like FNAF 2, the 17th Avatar movie, as well as Marty Supreme, so be sure to subscribe for that. Also, consider following me on Letterboxd. My handle is Timmybug on Letterboxd. If you want to follow me, it's also on the screen and in the description down below if you're interested. Thank you all so much for watching, and until next month, hopefully I'll see you before then. But if I don't, I hope you have an awesome Christmas. Thank y'all for watching. I'll see y'all later.